Hi friends, now we are going to cover how we can debug a standalone report. So I go to this transaction and this is generally it would be a custom report, okay, that you have created, and this is just a simple one, okay, C38, and I want to suppose put a debug point. So I'm going to display, and here I have put already a debug point. How you can put a debug point is you can click here or you can click here like this. Okay, now this is a session breakpoint. If you want to do an external breakpoint, that means if it's like even the users who are logged in another session with another user ID will also stop it from here. Okay, so generally we use the session breakpoint. Here I put the session breakpoint. Now I'll click on execute. Okay, and here I'll click on execute here, and now if you see, it will stop in that debugger place, and there I will show you. So if you double click, so suppose you want to see what is there. If you see, it's doing a select on all these fields, and it's getting from this table. Okay, so I want to see, suppose, the number of entries in the table field, or what are the entries there. So here you can see all the entries that are there. So name, this is the validity date, validity period. Now if you want to find a field that it's not showing here because it's down here, you can just click here and you can go here and try to find that field. Okay, so suppose I want to, I don't know, I'll click ER date. Okay, that's the creation date, and here you can see all these things. So this is very, very essential. Okay, so what you do whenever you stuck in SAP, okay, you can just double click, and now if you want to see it like this, like in the parallel way, you can click here and you double click, you can see all these 46 entries. Okay, so this is the way to find. Now here another piece that you can see is we have one thing called SY. Okay, this is the system variable, and this variable is very essential. Here you can see the number of entries that are there. So sometimes you might say, oh, there is a requirement that you need to find how many entries are there in the internal table. Okay, so you can get it from here, 46 entries. Okay, now there is this field called site apex, which is the current loop. So I will show you what happens later. So I'll just go, I'll click F5, I'll click F5, I'll click F5, click F5. Now in the meantime, I'll now go here. If you see, the site AVIX has changed to 2. So the current counter is 2. That's why it's showing 2. Okay, so you can find, like, lots of times you might say, I'm looking for a particular entry and it's in that second counter, okay, second loop pass or something. That's very essential. Then there are other different fields it might be essential, but for sure you will use the site AVIX, okay, which is the current loop, the site database count, the site AVIX, the site EFU also is used, and let me see any other fields that might be helpful. I think that's it. The rest of the fields you don't use it so much. Okay, but as another thing is you use for sure is lots of times you want to take the T code from where it's getting called. So you can put site E code. Like, lots of time you want to check, oh, if this enhancement or this program will be only, this part of the code should be only used when you have a check on site E code as SE38. But if the T code is something else, it will not show. This is one very important thing you can put. Then there is site datum, where you can find the current date. Okay, and then you have uname for sure, where you can find the user ID with which I am logged in. So all these things are other things are like, I think sys um, sys I think local, something local. So I use it. I think that's the time. Yes, this gives the time. Okay, so these are very essential system variables that you might be using. So once you are done, you can put another one here, also a breakpoint if you want to put breakpoint here. Also, if you want to replace a breakpoint, you can click here and all those things. So you can do a lot of stuff through here. So this covers all the aspects of how you can debug a standalone program. So that's it. Thank you.